Alright man, the last episode ever of top rare champions in Raid Shadow Legends, man. Some of these we scrape in the bottom of the barrel a little bit, some of them we've just flat out missed off of the list so far, and you can find all the champions that we've covered so far, man, at the top of the video description box, man, if you want to check that on out. But how the hell have we not touched on Renegade yet, man? Oh my god, this champion is ridiculously good, and honestly she's gonna power spike like crazy, and in my opinion start getting a lot more shout outs as soon as the Phantom Shogun tournaments are up and running, which is coming soon in an update in Raid. She's a great champion for speed killing that boss. One is a single hitter that has a chance of placing heal reduction debuff for 110, low chance, kind of whatever. A2, we don't care about any of her other skills by the way, but I've got to show them off anyway. It's a triple hitter, attacking at random, chance of placing decreased speed, weak version, decreased accuracy also conditionally. Not that amazing. It's all about the A3, man. It's all about the A3. So bookable down to a 5-turn cooldown. Decrease the cooldown. I can't believe this is on a rare champ. Decrease the cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns. This skill does not affect this champion or other champions with this skill. She also takes damage equal to 30% of her max HP. Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. Ridiculous how strong this is. Dude, it's practically a legendary quality skill, right? And what's more, because Renegade is such a niche champion, you can actually build her out to be the highest crit damage champion on your team, right? Which causes the Phantom Shogun boss to always focus on attacking the Renegade, put her in a regeneration set, and then she's just a huge tank for the Phantom Shogun boss in that dungeon, but she's still offering insane value to the team because of her A3, right? And she's speeding up the kill speed of the boss by a hell of a lot, you know? And so you can just build her out in that very specialized build, and she can do an amazing job in that dungeon. Otherwise, you can just use her in other dungeon teams with like Coldhearts and stuff like that, and have it so that you're resetting the cooldowns on everybody's skills and just blasting through the boss and getting like speed clears off and things like Spider and stuff. Just a great versatile rare champ. Not so versatile rare champ, but another one that we haven't covered on this list just yet is Sentinel. When you just need a provoker on your account and you don't really care what else they're there to do on the account, right? They're just there to provoke. Maybe you're like stuck on Magma Dragon in Doom Tower, for example, and you just need to keep the boss provoked 100% of the time. Sentinel is going to do a pretty good job of that with an attack 1 enemy A1 and a 85% land rate provoke debuff. The attack does have to crit, of course, but he also brings a little bit of passive healing as well, where every 2 turns it just heals a bunch of his HP at the start of his turn. This heal can also crit, and so that's nice. And remarkably, Sentinel actually has a 4.6 in Hydra. Oh my god, I don't know if I agree with that, but I guess he could work as like the most budget option ever if you're just trying to like farm your normal mode Hydra chests for the very first time and you don't have any better provokers. But yeah, Sentinel is just one of those easy, super cheap fixes for getting through, you know, certain bosses that just have to be provoked no matter what. And hey man, if all of this talk of all of these super early game rare champ options is putting that tingle in your breeches to start a new raid account, then why not do so using my beginner promo link down below at the top of the video description box, man, where if you click on that link right now and create a new raid account, you're going to get the best start possible, man, with a free legendary champ on that account with Kurzad or Fox Hunter, as well as 3 additional epic champs as you level up your account, man. Best gosh darn link going. Alright man, on with the list. I think that Coffin Smasher probably deserves a mention. We've got to throw him on in there, man, because he's pretty damn good for early game Demon Lord Clan boss. That's kind of all he's good at. Granted, it would be nice if he was a little bit better in other areas of the game. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. Should you be taking a Coffin Smasher up to level 60? Almost never, but you know, level 50 he can do a lot of work for you in the early game on your account. Triple hitter A1 is always nice. Each hit has a chance of placing strong decreased attack debuff for a couple of turns. Also very crucial and lovely to bring into Demon Lord. And then on the A2, it is a 4-turn cooldown, which sucks. And even when fully booked, it's only a 75% chance of landing the HP burn for a couple of turns. Could it not just be 100% land rate? Then he'd actually be a lot more saucy. But you know, he brings the triple hitter, he brings the decreased attack, the HP burn, and his passive decreases the damage enemies inflict with AoE attacks by 5%. So a little bit of extra survivability on your clan boss teams there as well. Very economical rare champ to build out, mostly because you probably got no plans to take him to level 60, but he can do a job, and I think that he's worth a mention on this list. And if he's not going to be mentioned now, he's never going to be mentioned, because I think this is going to be like the last top rare champs, like general video that we put up on the channel for the rest of 2025. Which, by the way, is even more reason for you guys to chime in with any picks that you feel like I'm missing in the comments. Dude, Life Taker of the Shadowkin faction. What a happy little finite progression champ. Probably not worth taking up to 60, but again, one of those champs where just getting you up to like stage 16 finite, maybe stage 20, if you can like guard her and get her to the boss. She can just do a lot of work for you, man. So A1 is a double hitter right off of the bat, plays heal reduction. The A2 is a triple hitter, each hit with a 75% chance booked of decreasing the target's 10 meter by 10%. Very, very nice. And the third hit has a chance of placing strong decreased speed debuff for a couple of turns. Just lovely stuff into the finite boss. Does take quite a lot of rare skill bucks to get this buck down, but all the same, not bad. And the A3, she self-buffs up with Veil and Reflect Damage, which Reflect Damage is going to help a little bit against the finite boss as well, for just cracking through with shield. And the Veil is just going to help to keep her alive to actually get her to the boss. Worth a level 50 if you need someone to take on finite, control 10 meter, decrease speed, all of that good stuff. Next up, man, we have the biggest one-trick pony champion in all of Raid, dude. We haven't yet touched on Muckstalker in this series just yet, man. With this 4.9 score in Sand Devil's Necropolis. Muckstalker has one job. He has one thing that he's good at, and that's the only reason that you would ever keep this champion is for when you want to start farming Sand Devil. Just put him in your vault, hope that you find a better option. And by a better option, I mean a better sleep debuffer champion than Muckstalker in the meantime. But eventually, if you want to start farming Sand Devil and you haven't got a better option, you're always going to have Muckstalker to fall back on with his 100% land rate, 210 cooldown sleep debuff on his A2. Very, very nice, right? Putting the Sand Devil boss to sleep, key to taking on that dungeon, key to placing debuffs on the boss, all of that good stuff. And so, yeah, he's worth a place in the vault. Might be worth a level 40 or a level 50-ish. Definitely not a champ to take up to level 60, but he can just enable you to farm content that's otherwise extremely, extremely painful. Which is also a little bit like Paragon, another champion kind of similar to Renegade that is, I think, going to power spike a hell of a lot in value in terms of like use rate on people's accounts when those Phantom Shogun tournaments begin. You can pair up Paragon alongside Gnarlhorn, I think, to create a Phantom Shogun team that just literally cannot die, right? Which is lovely. Like, that's a huge quality of life thing. You don't really want to be like rebuilding your legendary champs and champs you want to use in multiple areas of the game and stuff just to take on Phantom Shogun. It's one of those very, very sort of specific build style dungeons where you're going to build a very specific specialized team to take it on. And so being able to do that with a couple rare champions, you know, Gnarlhorn and Paragon, is really nice, so you're not having to go in and like rebuild all your other high value champs, you know. It's made possible, of course, this little build, this little combo in Phantom Shoguns by Paragon's A2, place an unkillable buff on a target ally for 2 turns on a 210 cooldown, meaning you can make your Phantom Shogun's tank, in this case Gnarlhorn, completely unkillable permanently, as long as you're able to have the boss constantly attack the Gnarlhorn, right? But Paragon, key to that build, super, super economy. What a guy. Next up, it is time for Petrifia, man. Good old Frozen Banshee's kind of little cousin, you know what I'm saying? She's pretty good. I think that most people rate Frozen Banshee slightly ahead of Petrifia in terms of poisoners and what they can get done in your account, but the Petrifia does have a double hitter A1. This is a decreased defense weak version, but if the target is under a poison sensitivity debuff placed by Petrifia, then each hit actually has a 35% chance bucked of placing the strong decreased defense debuff for a couple of turns, so pretty solid A1, given that she does bring poison sensitivity to the table. As for A2, it's going to attack all enemies 2 times in a 310 cooldown. The first hit, 100% chance bucked of placing decreased attack. Second hit, 75% chance of placing a poison debuff for a couple of turns. And then on the A3, attacking 3 times at random on a 410 cooldown. Each hit with a 40% chance of placing a 25% poison sensitivity debuff. And if all hits land on the same target, also place an additional poison debuff for a couple of turns, right? So you want to pair her up with another poison-based champion. It might just be your Kael, for example, would do just fine. And yeah, Petrifia can get you a lot of value in early game Demon Lord clan boss. Apparently not bad into Dragon Slayer either. Never actually built her on my account before. On my main account, I just happened to pull Frozen Banshee first, and so I leveled the Frozen Banshee, pulled the Petrifia, and well, you just kind of don't need her anymore at that point, you know, but whichever one you pull first can do a great job as like a good rare poisoner to team up with your Kael against Demon Lord in the early game, man. Not a bad champ. Winding it on back to the Knights Revenant faction, we have, where is he, man? A fusion component by the name of Executioner, man. Good guy, right? Don't let that egghead fool you, man. This guy, and the fact that he's a fusion component, fool you. His skills are actually pretty good, as A1 has a chance to play stun debuff for 110, which is fine for a rare champion. The A2s can attack all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown, decrease enemy 10 meter by 20%, and has a 75% chance buck to placing a weak decreased speed debuff for a couple of turns. He's also defense based, so he's quite tanky, quite stocky, quite easy to keep alive, but this 10 meter control is great. Like, you level this guy up to 50, I mean, I don't see him being like a super high priority on most people's accounts, but if you're needing a good wave controller champ for your Knights Revenant faction, faction wars, secret rooms, Cursed City rooms, that kind of thing, just level the Executioner, man. He can do the job very, very well, and oftentimes goes a bit slept on just because he's a fusion component, you know, when really he can offer so much more. On his A3, it's a bit weird. Bookable down to a 5-turn cooldown, places increased defense and counter attack on himself for 3 turns, so long cooldown but long duration buffs. Bit sad that it's only on himself, but then again, if it was on everybody, it would be absolutely broken, so that's Executioner, man. Don't sleep on the guy. And finally, man, some honorable mentions. One of the campaign farmable rare champs, very, very easy to build up and get your hands on, is of course going to be Spirit Host. To be fair, in the early game, she's actually pretty darn good. She brings her ally speed aura in all battles by 10%. It's only 10%, but still the value of having at least one champ that you're building out on your account, at least to level 50 with this aura, can't be understated. She also brings strong increased attack buff on all allies, as well as some debuff cleanse and the block buffs, the block debuffs buff on allies as well for 1 turn. It is on a 5-turn cooldown on her A3. Kind of wish this was one turn lower in terms of cooldown, but you can still do a pretty good job, man, with that good old increase attack buff, and she's completely free to farm in campaign. Next up, Crimson Slayer. This is a champion that I actually did level up to level 50 on my main account just for finite progression. She's not bad, to be honest. She did help me get up to like stage 16 finite before I eventually replaced her out. She's got a triple hitter on the A1, which is fine, and she also brings a 10 meter steal on her A2, which is lovely, right? Decrease the target's 10 meter by 50% and fill our own 10 meter equal to the amount that the target loses. So she was a fine finite option to get me started. I also used her as a 10 meter stealer as well against Scarab King in Doom Tower for the very first time. She's not a champion that's often mentioned, but I'm going to go ahead and throw her in the list just because I did take her up to 50. Once I replaced her, I never used her ever again on the account though. So there is that small caveat. Oh god, I can't believe I'm going to cover this chat, man. Okay, so I'm throwing this in as an honorable mention because I like ripped on this guy and said that he was a piece of crap and he's just like a food champion, you know. And then like a couple people in the comments were raging. They were saying, "No, man, Madman is he's a giga Chad. He's really, really good." I check his in-game champion reviews just now. What? Madman has a cult following, dude. Look at this, man. 5 in Hydra. Oh god, these in-game reviews, dude. They never fail to make me chuckle, man. But yeah, like, is Madman all that? Does he just like hit really hard or something? His A1 attack, like, I'm learning myself here, genuinely. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of attacking all other enemies with the second hit. Ooh, dealing 30% of the damage inflicted from the first hit. Okay. The second hit is always normal. Okay. So, yeah. The A2s can attack all enemies. Heals this champion by 10% of the damage inflicted if this champion is currently below 50% on a 3-10 cooldown. You know, I mean, it's alright. I'd love to know what the modifiers are for this. Does it like actually smack, you know? And then for the A2, attacks one enemy, ignores 30% of the target's defense, will ignore block damage and shield buffs. Okay, so maybe he actually can like smack in arena, you know, for just deleting single target enemies in that sense. I don't know, man. Am I crazy as hell for putting Madman? Am I mad myself for putting Madman on this list? I'm purely putting him on there because people were angry at me last time when I crapped on him a little bit, okay? And this is YouTube we're talking about, man. I can read 1,000 positive comments, you know, encouraging comments. It's the one negative comment that I remember for months after the fact, you know? As YouTubers, we're fragile beings, you know? Anyways, man, if there's any rare champions you feel like I missed off of this list, make sure to set me straight in the comments down below. Just remember that I've already covered a whole bunch of rares in this series that are going to be in the description box, so just make sure you check there first, man, before ripping me to pieces. And while you're checking the description box, why not click on the link at the top of the description box right now to create your new raid account, man, and get off to the best start possible. A clean slate in 2025. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all did enjoy this one, and I'm going to catch all of you all just a tad bit later, man.